Welcome back to Muskrat Gulch. Let me introduce you to an old friend of mine. You've seen them. I wear them all the time. These are my Vask hiking boots. They're an awesome boot. They are the best footwear I've ever owned in my life. And today, we're going to show them a little bit of love. So why don't you come back? These are probably, except for maybe a pair of cowboy boots a long time ago, these are the most expensive piece of footwear I've ever owned. They're made by Vask. I love them. They have never once let me down. They've got a lot of miles on them. I love them. I have no plans to replace them. But I think if I ever do, they're going to be replaced by the same company that made these ones. But the waterproofing, I've never gotten a soaker, but you can tell the waterproofing is wearing pretty thin. So we're going to clean them and we're going to give them a nice seal. Now, I'm not going to use any soap on these. Cows didn't use it. I'm not going to use soap, but I am going to scrub them. It's not a big job. We're going to put some newspaper down. Probably should have done that before. Teresa's going to catch me when she sees this. It doesn't take much to clean them. I've got a cheap dollar store scrub brush, a couple of rags. This time we're going to use a toothbrush that's dedicated to the boots. We're not going to take one out of the bathroom this time. And I'm not using any soap on these, but I am using Leather Better. It's a Canadian product. It's awesome stuff. Just awesome stuff. We'll talk about that after. So the first thing I'm going to do is scrub these with just warm water. And then we'll let them dry and start cleaning them. So the first thing we're going to do is take out the laces. We're going to have to get behind the eyelets. We're going to have to do a lot of scrubbing, so we're in there. I don't use shoelaces in mine, bootlaces. I use paracord. There's a reason for that. They don't last quite as long as a bootlace does, but I have 48-inch laces here, and by using paracord, that gives me a total of 8 strands of usable cordage when I'm out on the trail. So if something happens and I need cordage, I have it. So 48 inches, there are 7 strands. The middle strand is fire tinder. So I've got a lot of cordage that I can play with there, and the outside sheath can still be used as bootlaces when I'm done. So that's why I use paracord. They don't last as long. They last probably 6 months as compared to a couple of years for decent bootlaces, but they give me that extra margin of safety. I'm going to take them in and clean them up, and we'll be back in a few minutes and see where we go. All right, so I washed them with warm water and the brushes. Brushes are pretty dirty. I got in the soles. There's a couple of stones stuck in them. I'm not going to do anything to the soles. Just clean them up a bit. But when you do this, you have to make sure you move the eyelets, because any dirt that's caught in there is not going to be helpful when it comes time to sealing them. So I did that. I got the toothbrush in there. That's the real reason you want the toothbrush. So those are done. Those are ready to go. Now, we got to let them dry on their own. We're not going to put them in front of a heater. We're not going to use any artificial. Don't use a blow dryer or a heat gun. Let them dry on their own. So I'm just going to set them aside until tomorrow. Now, I'm not going to leave them dry on the table because, well, Teresa will be home before these are dry, and shoes don't go on the table or something like that. She yells a lot. So anyway, we'll be back tomorrow when these are dry, and we'll start with the wax. So we'll see you then. Hi, here we are. The boots are clean, they're dry. Now it's time to apply the wax. You want the boots to stay breathable. They got a Gore-Tex lining in them. So you want them to stay breathable, and that means putting on a very light coat of wax. Don't go crazy with your wax. So we're using Leather Better, Canadian product, awesome stuff. So we're just going to take a nice coat of it and just start applying it. You're going to notice the difference in color almost immediately. And the one thing I'm going to do is get right down there in the seam where the leather meets the rubber of the sole. Now when these are dry, when the wax is dried, I'll go over them with a brush and make sure that I've got all the wax everywhere it needs to be. Just gotta make sure you get around the eyelets. You certainly want to keep the leather soft and supple. You don't want it to crack, and wax is your best option for that. And beeswax is, in my opinion, the best. There's a lot of other stuff you can get. You can spray your boots if that's what you want to do, but these boots are, I hope these boots are going to be around for a long time. So there they are. They're clean. They're waxed. I'm going to let the wax dry for a while now. I'll be back in a half an hour or so, and we'll take it from there. All right, we're back. The boots, I think, have dried enough. I'm just going to rub them with a cloth, a clean one. I can use the same one. Make sure that the wax is everywhere it needs to be, and it's thin. I don't want too much wax on them. That's pretty much it. I washed my boot laces, so they're going in nice and clean. I get the wax out of the small spots. These boots have been on an awful lot of adventures with us, and I want to make sure that they're around for a lot more. Boots, hiking boots are a big investment. They're not cheap. You buy a good pair, they'll last you a long time. And but you got to take care of them. Remember, when you're on a long hike, your feet are everything. You got to keep them warm. You got to keep them dry. And that's what this is all about. This is taking care of the stuff that's going to take care of you. You know, Teresa will say, it's time for another adventure. And even if it's just a day hike or something, we do it. And that's this is all about. Your feet, when you're hiking, your feet are everything. So you got to take care of the thing that takes care of you. And that's what I'm doing here. I'm just taking care of them so they'll take care of me when we're out. So clean them good, dry them. Don't put wax on them while they're still wet, and don't use artificial means to dry your boots. Don't put them in front of a heater. Don't use a blow dryer or a heat gun. Let them dry natural. So I washed these day before yesterday it was, and I just let them sit there, and they dried naturally. Then the wax went on. They look good. The seals, I'm sure the seals are good. There was never really a problem as far as sealing goes. They're a nice waterproof boot. I would recommend Vast to anybody. They'll be my next one, I can tell you that. Anyway, that's how I clean my boots and treat them. That I'm not getting paid to say this, but that Leather Better is good stuff, and I recommend that. Good Canadian product. So that's it. I hope you got something out of that. We'll see you next time at Muskrat Gulch. Thank you very much for joining us. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.